Good morning, y'all. How are you today? Thank you for viewing with us and welcome to Bible class with Andre and Betty. We're in the last chapter of 2 Kings today, chapter 25, and we'll be looking at the last reign of a Jewish king whose name is Zedekiah. After they will go into captivity under the Babylonian kingdom, and there will not be a king to reign over Israel again until the second coming, when Jesus will reign over the world and the universe. And so we're in chapter 25, but looking back at chapter 24, verse 18, it says, Zedekiah, who is Josiah's son, was 21 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And so now verse 1 in chapter 25. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came, he and all his host, against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, or set up camp against them, and built forts or fortified walls against it round about. So they surrounded the city of Jerusalem. And the city was besieged unto the 11th year of King Zedekiah. So it took 2 years for them to capture all those that went into captivity during Zedekiah's reign. Verse 3. And on the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine prevailed in the city, and there was no bread for the people of the land. Now, if you study the book of Jeremiah from chapter 39 to 52, you'll see these same events taking place, because Jeremiah's prophecy came in after the 13th year of King Josiah. And so this is the last king before they go into captivity. Verse 4. And the city was broken up, that is Jerusalem. And all the men of war fled by night by the way of the gate between the two walls, which is by the king's garden. Parentheses, now the Chaldeans were against the city round about, and the king went the way toward the plain, that is, he was trying to run away, that is Zedekiah. Verse 5. And the army of the Chaldees pursued after the king and overtook him in the plains of Jericho, and all his army was scattered from him. So they took the king and brought him up to the king of Babylon in Riblah, and they gave judgment upon him. And they slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, and put out the eyes of Zedekiah, and bound him with fetters of brass, shackles, and carried him to Babylon. So the Babylonians put out the eyes of his sons that he had to look at, and then they put Zedekiah's eyes out. Verse 8. And in the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard, a servant of the king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem. And he burnt the house of the Lord, that is, the temple, and the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem, and every great man's house burnt he with fire. And the Lamentations, the book of Lamentations, written by Jeremiah, is the lamentations how the land mourned because it would be empty for 70 years. 70 years is the length of time that Judah would be in captivity under the Babylonian Empire. Verse 10. And all the army of the Chaldees that were with the captain of the guard break down the walls of Jerusalem round about. Now the rest of the people that were left in the city, and the fugitives that fell away to the king of Babylon, with the remnant of the multitude, did Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carry away. But the captain of the guard left of the poor of the land to be vine dressers and husbandmen. And that would be I prophesied in the book of Jeremiah in chapter 39, verse 13. And the pillars of brass that were in the house of the Lord, and the bases, and the brazen sea that was in the house of the Lord in the temple, did the Chaldees break in pieces, and carried the brass of them to Babylon. Verse 14. And the pots, and the shovels, and the snuffers, and the spoons, and all the vessels of brass, wherewith they ministered, took they away. These were instruments used in the temple. Verse 15, by the priest, and the fire pans and the bowls, and such things as were of gold in gold, and of silver in silver, the captain of the guard took away. The 2 pillars, 1 sea, and the bases, which Solomon had made for the house of the Lord. The brass of all these vessels were without weight, immeasurable. It was so numerous. The height of the 1 pillar, verse 17, was 18 cubits, and the chapiter on top of the pillar was a fixing on top of the pillars. So it says it was 18 cubits, and the chapiter up on it was brass. And the height of the chapiter was 3 cubits. And the wreathen work and the pomegranates upon the chapiter round about, all of brass. And like unto these had the 2nd pillar with wreathen work, with artistic work. Verse 18. And the captain of the guard took Seraiah, the chief priest, and Zephaniah, the 2nd priest, and the 3 keepers of the door. And out of the city he took an officer that was set over the men of war, and 5 men of them that were in the king's presence, which were found in the city, and the principal scribe of the host, which mustered the people of the land, or called them together, and 70 men of the people of the land that were found in the city. The captain of the guard left this group of people in the city of Jerusalem. Verse 20. And Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard, took these and brought them to the king of Babylon at Rimlah, those that were just named. And the king of Babylon smote them and slew them at Rimlah in the land of Hamath. So Judah was carried away out of their land. Verse 22, and as for the people that remained in the land of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had left, even over them he made Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, ruler. And when all the captains of the armies, they and their men, heard that the king of Babylon had made Gedaliah governor, there came to Gedaliah to Mizpah even Ishmael the son of Nethaniah, and Johanan the son of Kareah, and Seraiah the son of Timhuthmet the Netophathite, and Jaazaniah the son of Maachathite, they and their men. These are other people that are coming to where the people of Judah were living. And so Gedaliah swore to them in verse 24, and Gedaliah swore to them and to their men, and said unto them, fear not to be servants of the Chaldees, dwell in the land, and serve the king of Babylon, and it shall be well with you. But they are plotting against the people of Judah that are left in the land. Verse 25. But it came to pass in the 7th month that Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, the son of Elishama, of the seed royal, came, and 10 men with him, and smote or killed Gedaliah, that he died. And the Jews and the Chaldeans that were with him in Mizpah, that is, with Gedaliah, those that were with him in Mizpah. Verse 26, and all the people, both small and great, young and old, and the captains of the armies arose and came to Egypt, for they were afraid of the Chaldees. So Jeremiah had prophesied to the Jews that they should not go into Egypt, and they told Jeremiah to talk to the Lord on their behalf. And God told them not to go into Egypt, but they went anyway. And so this is the group that went to Egypt. Jeremiah went with them because Jeremiah was not taken into Babylonian captivity. He was allowed to live where he wanted to, and he chose to live with the people of God. And it came to pass in the 37th year of the captivity of Jehoiakim, who is Jehoiakim's son, king of Judah, in the 12th month, on the 27th day of the month, that evil Merodach, king of Babylon, he's taken the place of Nebuchadnezzar. This is the second son. This is the son of Nebuchadnezzar. So I'm going to read again. On the 27th day of the month, that evil Merodach, king of Babylon, in the year that he began to reign, did lift up the head of Jehoiachin, king of Judah, out of prison. He had been there 37 years, 28. And he spake, evil Merodach spake kindly to him, and set his throne above the throne of the kings that were with him in Babylon, and changed his prison garments, and he did eat bread continually before him all the days of his life. And his allowance, verse 30, was a continual allowance given him of the king, a daily rate for every day, all the days of his life. And so Jehoiakim is is a type of the children of Israel being delivered out of the great tribulation at the end of the tribulation period. And that this Jehoiakim, who is Jehoiakim's son, is in the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew chapter 1. So it's a lot of history here, and we'll get through it by the grace of God. So you all have a good day and a good week, and we'll see you next time. But next time, we'll be going into the book of 1 Chronicles, and it's going to be 9 chapters of just names of people belonging to different tribes and nations. So it'll probably be labeled as boring, but we're going to go through it anyway. So thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.